talk about, instead of writing, improvising. So you're really a fan of this, I think. You love to either on the fly think of something or just accompany. Look at all the stuff you made up when we were here, right? So what's your philosophy there? How do you go about that?
I've always been an improviser. Matter of fact, I've been an improviser even when it was not necessarily appropriate, which was back like in my Juilliard days, where I would, start to improvise on the music that I was learning at home. But I would come back, and the teachers would say, "Don't do that. That's not part of what we're doing." And here, which was very sad, especially on looking back, because Mozart was a tremendous improviser. And
so why didn't anybody there look at you and go, "These guys got something different"?
They were aware of that. They were aware of that, but also the window was kind of like smaller. They would say, "Oh, that's isn't that nice? Great, go do that somewhere else."
Well, they were training you on a different path, and they say, if you go here, we're not going to get you here. Is that what maybe they were thinking?
They were trying to get me down the very kind of focused, straight, if you will, classical path to be the best classical pianist, interpret the music, as well as I
But nobody
could.
heard the inspiration from, wow, think of the imagination this guy has.
A lot of the Juilliard people would just be like a little smile, about it.
How sad.
I'll tell you a funny story. Like there was certainly people there that were more open. I had a composition teacher. Composition was not my major at Juilliard. Piano performance was, and I had this guy. I remember his name because he was pretty cool. Larry Rudess. He was my composition teacher. And one week I went in. I didn't write anything. I just was busy.
Blew it off.
I had a recital or something. So I came in. He says, "Okay, let's hear what you have. Let's hear the piece you wrote." So I started, And I'm playing whatever came into my head, just like I was just doing
Bravo.
that. And and he after I played, he went, "Okay, that's very nice." He says, and in like the 30-second measure, let's look at that. And he was totally kidding. He knew I improvised it. He was also.
And he knew you couldn't
He
recreate what you
knew
were.
it, and he enjoyed it. He enjoyed the fact that I did that. So we started to talk about improvisation
Oh, that's nice.
because he was into it, and just different techniques of doing it. He definitely smiled in a different kind of way, like this is pretty cool. So that for
sounds
me,
good.
I've always been into improvising. Whether it's improvising on I think it started when my mother used to bring home like the sheet music for different kind of like Broadway show tunes or movie tunes. So I would be playing, just looking at the little chord symbols and the notes, and I'd be playing anything that came into my mind. And every time I play this song, it's always going to be different. So it's not on the page. I just need a little thing, and I never thought about it. One day, somebody walked into my house and said, watched me doing this. He said, "Are you reading that?" I said, "Well, I'm not." No, I said, "I'm just looking at names of chords in the melody line." And they were like, "Well, how are you doing that?" I went, "What do you mean?" Well, I said, "I didn't know it was anything unique." Right?
That's interesting. Right?
This is my
You made it
world.
up.
I'm looking at the chord, I'm playing C and whatever positions, and I'm just doing my thing. And I kind of discovered somewhere along, there was a point where I went, "Oh, you mean everybody doesn't do that?" Oh, okay. And the reality is that a lot of people are just in a different mode of their, creative.
All right, so when you're writing,
Yeah.
how do you capture all this stuff and know how to redo it?
Right. Well, a very well-known cellist who I worked with at the Paul Winter concert once said to me, "Jordan, you throw away more good music than most people write in their lifetime." And because it's very, to me, music is like talking. I mean, it's easier for me to just start playing something than it is for me to spit out the words that are coming out. It's just as easy.
I believe
should
it.
say. It's the same kind of a thing. So, and the thing is, what I just played for you when I was improvising, we're not going to hear that again.
Never.
It's gone because I'm not going to remember it unless, we have it recorded. So if
It's true, but
if it's a
normally,
great
so
idea, then-
would you actually consciously say, okay, I'm going to write today, and you'd be recording?
Well, that's a really good question. It happens in all different kinds of ways. And a lot of times, I'll sit down at the piano. Sometimes I'm in a composition session, like when I'm with the guys, when I'm
Sure.
with Dream Theater. We're trying to compose music. So we might start off, and maybe John Petrucci has given us a riff that might go like, and then so we have that part down, and then I'm thinking, well, what could come next?
Right.
So then, you know, I'll sit and I'll be thinking along that road, and I'll go, well, maybe maybe not about, oh, maybe, or maybe like after, I don't know. I mean, it's all improvisation, and like I'll play something, and John will go, yeah,
That's
like
it.
that, and then we'll look at the notes, and I'll start to write them down, and maybe like John will go, you know what, you know, a little twist in there might be a little bit better, or, and we'll refine it. So then it then becomes more of like a crafting thing, and then we go, okay, well then let's go back to that, and then I'll say, let's add some chords, you know.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, well, okay, great. And then I'm writing furiously. He's memorizing like a maniac, and you know, and that's how it kind of begins. And then we're on to the next part. Where are we going to go?
All right, that's a band composition. What do you do on your own?
It's very similar. Like
Oh, really?
But it also can be very different, because what, like on my Wired for Madness album, it's sometimes very very much layered. So who knows where I'll start? I might want to start with almost like a drum pattern. I might start with something that's with strings. I mean, a lot of things can get it going, you know.
Inspire
so
you, right?
it always starts from some kind of an improvisation. I mean, the reality is that that's where
Well, all your
everything-
ideas seem to spell from there. The question
Well-
is which ones grab on and, I guess, you know,
Right,
make it
right.
to stick.
Exactly. So it's up to me to kind of stop the motion and say, okay, that was cool. But there is a different headspace when I'm trying to compose something. Like, you know, the trying to compose something is more like, you know, and if in that attempt, I was successful to where I felt like that's cool. And I go, okay, that's it. And I actually felt okay about that one. So, but if I sat and played like, no, I didn't really want to do that. So I'll start again. Oh, that's good. Start the recorder, lay that down to
nice.
that
Okay.
point, and then go, okay, I like that, you know, and then maybe say, oh, well, that was nice. Let me add a little bit of something else to it, and I might like just layer in some, you know, guitar, or I might play, you know, a line against it. Whatever,
Yeah.
you know, and build my orchestration for that part. And then the next part comes around, and I'm thinking, okay, well, what's going to follow up after that? Well, maybe it'll be like a. I go, oh, I like that. That's great. I'll say, I don't know, you know, try
But
something
you
else.
try it, and it depends how it feels.
So
it's very
sometimes I'll go for a
intuitive.
different sound to get me in a certain mood, and I'll hear what I had before, and I'll think, and then I'll let that play up into that spot, and I'll start to play like, you know, right after it to see
Right.
if it kind of works. So
That's very fascinating.
That's a
That's
little bit
really
how
interesting. Great
it
insight,
works.
Jordan. I really thank you
Oh,
for
cool.
doing that because,
Awesome.
you know, us mere mortals that don't write music, it's a magical thing when you hear about how a song is produced.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
everybody's got a different story, right?
right. And also, what's interesting is that, you know, some people are generally working in a song format. You know, so meaning
Yes.
that you've got like a verse and you've got a chorus and you've got a B section, and that's cool. It's also very kind of locked in. A lot of times when I'm working almost like as a classical musician, where I'll have motifs that I'm working on.
Right.
You know, I'll start and I'll play, right? And I'll say, okay, well, that's a cool motif. How else can I use it? Maybe. Then a little development or something like that, or maybe I'll put it in different styles. Who knows? But I like taking them and moving them around and doing different things. You could transpose it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very nice.
things come up like that.
Talk to me about, what do you mean by harmonic influences?
So the harmonic influences, that's a very important kind of subject, and we were talking about like the Emerson kind of idea, or the Coldplay, or Debussy, all with their own schools of harmonic thought, how chords move. You know, it's so different through the years, the hundreds of years, and it's my life study to really look at that. So I take all that in. These are my harmonic influences. There's also rhythmic influences, like maybe Stravinsky or Gentle Giant or Bach, you know, and counterpoint influences. So there's all these different elements of music that I try to draw upon. As a progressive musician, I'm looking at all of these things, not only harmony and melody and rhythm, but also sonic influences. I might listen to Aphex Twin, like a, an electronic artist, or Boards of Canada, or some of these cutting edge musicians, Richard Devine, for the kind of sounds that he uses, and it'll tweak my imagination. Then I can start to incorporate a little bit of that into my world.
We always borrow somewhere, right? Get a little bit of inspiration.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's great. So we are here at the LaFaro Center for the Performing Arts. How did you come about coming here? This is a nice, small little house venue. You don't normally play these places.
No. So, well, over the last couple of years, I've developed a friendship with Jerry LaFaro, whose place this is, the LaFaro Center for the Performing Arts. And we kind of had an immediate bond, both very creative people, and I really loved the work that I saw that he was doing, all the artwork. So we started to work together. Actually, my latest album, Wired for Madness, features his amazing cover, which I especially love on vinyl because it just looks so beautiful. So if people haven't seen that, you got to check it out. But it started this whole amazing relationship to where Jerry actually designed a custom keytar for me.
Nice.
Yeah. So whatever I seem to ask him, he always says yes. So the future is wide open for all kinds of possibilities.
Well, you returned the favor by coming here.
There you go. But yeah, and he promised me meatballs. He makes his homemade meatballs, which is
and did they come through with the taste that you expected?
It was the pretty strong, good, positive taste. Yeah.
Well, talk to me about playing in a small venue like this. This is different than you're in a stadium or something like that.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I spent this last summer in huge concerts. I mean, like thousands and thousands of people, and I get in a flow. I walk on stage. My keyboards are there. My tech sets me up. I just walk on. I play. I look out and I go, oh my God, there's a lot of people, and I get a little burst of energy, and then I go back to my business, and I'm doing what I've been doing. Let's say almost every day. Coming to like a place like this, it's like a very different situation. The people are sitting very close. It's very intimate. In some ways, it's more intense. It's just me. So it can like kind of amp me up.
You feel the energy.
I can feel the energy. The people are not further back, to where you can kind of almost, I don't know, separate, even if it's 50,000 of them. It's weird, but it's true. If there's 5 people that are sitting right there and they're staring at me, there's a very good chance that I'll be just as, well, I don't like to say nervous because I don't even want to put that out there, but just as kind of like amped and excited to do it. So, I mean, that's the reality. And being a human being, we're kind of fluid or flexible in that sense, where it's not predictable how something is going to make us feel. So as a performer, I try to practice the way that I want to feel. Like if I'm playing, I want to kind of get in the headspace. So if I'm playing it in front of you, or 50,000 people, or 20, I can kind of remember that feeling and try to achieve it.
Well, I saw that last night. So this happens with lots of musicians that you observe. That all of a sudden, the music is you, right? It's the only way I can explain it.
Yeah.
You're not really a part of anything. You're bobbing, you're weaving.
And it takes, some people can snap right into it, and sometimes I can snap right into it. But often it takes, getting used to the audience. Like I'll walk on stage and I'll just, start to play something because I'm trying to settle in,
Makes sense.
And feel, what's the energy around us. I'm trying to get my hands, in a nice space and just relax and,
It's reflecting your mood, I suspect.
Allow myself to breathe and, and see if I feel like the audience can kind of slow down a little bit with me as well. Because if they can, kind of follow along, then I can relax. I go, okay, well, they're with me when I'm playing this slow. And so then it kind of sets me up to get into the rest of the show.
All right, so I have a request. Can you take us out with something from Emerson, Lake and Palmer? Can you do something?
Should I do it with an organ sound?
Sure, whatever you think. Hey, you're the musician. Awesome.
There you go.
Thank you so much. This was just a great, great time.
Really fun.
I really enjoy getting to learn more about you, your approach to music, and all the theory behind it, stuff like that. This was really a joy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This is an awesome setup.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
great.
I appreciate it.
I got one more favor. I
Yep.
want to do a selfie with us here.
Okay. We got enough cameras that no matter where we look, we should be able to
Nah,
get something.
this is off the phone.
Oh, that's that one. Okay.
All right, we'll see what happens.
Oh,
here.
there you go.
All right,
That's good.
All right, there we go. All right, look like a musician.
Oh, this way.
Yeah, there we go. All right,
Awesome.
that's good.